What's happening, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to make a quick little update about what's going on with my E92 335i, specifically regarding the electrical malfunction that I diagnosed in my last video. So if you saw that video, you were seeing that I was having a whole bunch of errors come up on the dash, big electronic malfunction. Car was really acting weird, and I ended up diagnosing that as being an issue with my RDC module, which is the tire pressure monitoring control unit, basically. And today the part finally came in, so we're going to quickly change it in and out, and hopefully get this girl back up and running and have working tire pressure monitoring again, and no errors up on the dash. Now, I gave most of the details about everything that led up to this in the last video, so if you're dealing with similar problems, similar issues, make sure to check that information out over there. Hopefully it'll help you out. But basically what I'm going to be replacing is this part here. You could see the part number hopefully shows up right there up at the top here, and it's this number here that ends in, what is that, 122-01. That number there is the part number up on the top, and this part is getting replaced. This is what ended up going bad. If you remember, it got water up inside of it from some snow that got inside my wheel well, so that part needs to be replaced, and it's being replaced with this piece, which part number in the same spot ends in 194-02 up at the top there. So it is a slightly different part number. There is an updated part for this piece. Hopefully, I don't know, they've hopefully made improvements to it to make it so less water egress is possible. But yep, this finally came in, and we're gonna quickly pop it in right now. So in order to get everything up and running, back to working in normal, what we first need to do is pop the RDC module back in where you saw it come out from in the first video. Pop that back in there, connect up the electrical connection, and then all we're going to need to do is just code that module to the car once it's connected. These modules do need to be coded in if they're going to work properly and return functions to normal here with the tire pressure monitoring system. I believe it basically just makes a VIN record on that module to match the VIN of the car and reset the module to factory settings. So I'm going to set that up. I'll show you my tuning, or my coding rather, my coding setup, how I'm going to go about doing that in just a minute. But first, let's pop this thing in. Alright, so that was it to get it in there, real quick and easy, nice and simple. There's a little bracket in there that behind that wheel well that holds the little module in place, and just the one electrical connection to get it on there. Just 3 screws on the wheel liner there to access that. And you probably saw I replaced a couple of screws. If you watched the first video I made, I think what ended up happening was some of those screws were missing on the wheel liner from somebody else who had worked on the car prior to me owning it. And because those screws were missing, I was out doing snow donuts in the snow in a storm that we had not too long ago, and I believe snow got kicked up under there, coated, got all over that module, and somehow got inside on the circuit board because the circuit board was fried, corroded. Again, check out that first video for more details on that, on the location, on the specifics of this car. This is an LCI. This is a 2013 E92 335i. So it's an LCI model. Some of the earlier E90s have a different TPMS system. Similar BMWs might have similar systems to this. I talk a lot about it in the first video that I made, giving a little bit more details. Check that video out. There's also some links in that other video for some forum information if you're looking into a similar problem yourself. But it's all connected up. All we need to do now is just code it to the car to get it to work, and I'll show you what we're working with now. So let me show you what I'm working with here for the coding part of this process. So first of all, I have my MHD orange adapter, Wi-Fi adapter to connect to the car. So this is going to go down in the OBD2 port. That's going to go in there. And then this is a Amazon Fire 8, I think. This is just like the cheapest form of Android-based tablet that I can get. It's been converted to run the Play Store, and the software that I'm going to be using, hopefully this is showing up, is the BimmerGeeks Pro Tool software, which the capabilities are pretty incredible. What you can do with it, I'm a big fan of it. It works really well, and it connects right up to this Wi-Fi adapter. So that's what we'll do here. Establishing connection, and it's going to do its thing. It's going to read the modules. You can't see it probably on the camera, but up on the dash here, it's still telling me that I have a TPMS system malfunction, which is normal because that module hasn't been coded in yet. Once this is good to go, we're going to figure out how to get that done and hopefully reset that system. All right, so we're all connected up to the car now. The system here, the software is reading the vehicle. So I think what we need to do is, what I'm going to do is click on vehicle, then I'm going to click on control units, and this is now reading all of the different control units that is in this car, and it should list here somewhere the RDC module. Here it is. Very good. So before, when I had the RDC module, the piece that I just put in the back there, when that was unplugged, nothing was showing up here because it wasn't reading it. It wasn't attached to the car. But now since I have the new one in and it's plugged in, it's showing up again, RDC, tire pressure control. So we're going to select that module. And then I think I think all we need to do is factory code it with the software here. So I'll click on that. Control unit will now be factory coded according to the vehicle order. It's going to make a backup of the information, and we want to probably make the vehicle, choose the vehicle order off of the CAS. It's coding. All right, we got something up on the dash. I'll show you in a second. Coding finished. All right, that should be all done now. So now with that coding finished, up on the dash here, you now see the iDrive is requesting to set the tire pressures and reset it as you normally would after filling up your tire pressures, and to reset the monitoring system. So that's a really good sign. That means that the car right now is reading that module. It's using that. That module has now connected to the sensors that are within each one of the wheels of the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this, do the driving procedure to get it to actually read, and make sure the tires are good. And I think that's it. That's going to be it. I think we should be all set and back up in working order after that. All right, let's try that out, and I'll give you an update if it's working properly. Now, so far it's operating normally. The way it works is you reset it while you're stopped, and it gets the initial reading, connect to the system, and then you need to drive off, and it'll read the tires as you start moving. So I'm going to start pulling around now and seeing how we do. And look at that, just a little bit further down the road, and we are reset, good to go, operating normally. All the wheels, every part of the system is reading. So I think we're all set at this point. Should be good to go. Nice. All right, so we're back from a little test drive that I did. Everything is all good. We're good to go. As you can see here, no errors up on the dash. Everything's good to go here. So we successfully changed the module out there. Once again, are error-free, so we'll see how long that lasts. We know how BMWs are with their lights on the dash. So hopefully this lasts and nothing else goes wrong. But yeah, TPMS RDC module has been swapped out. Again, it needs the coding. You saw before I coded it in, it was still coming up with the TPMS malfunction because that module wasn't completely synced up with the car, and that's essentially what the coding is doing, is just making it so that module is coded to the car can read it and communicate with it, and work in conjunction and everything like that. Now, as I showed you, I used the BimmerGeeks Pro Tool software running on an Android tablet here. That is, in my mind, the easiest way to do this. That software is phenomenal. The capabilities are great. I've really enjoyed playing with it. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I really enjoy the product. It works really well. Now, there are other ways to do that. You can do that same thing with BMW standard tools. If you have a Windows laptop and you have that all set up on your laptop, and you have the right K+D CAN cable to connect your laptop to the car. I'm all Apple stuff, so I have iPhone, I have a Mac computer desktop, so I don't have any of that set up, and the BimmerGeek software so far has been the perfect tool for me to use just through a tablet to in place of that stuff. It's probably not quite 100% replacement, but it's a good replacement. It worked perfectly for this. TPMS is back running, no more electrical malfunctions, so that's great. We're good to go. And yeah, this did work out really well for me getting this whole thing fixed and set up. As I mentioned in my last video, that module, the RDC module that you saw me put in, it's $300. It's expensive for just that little thing, a little piece of plastic has a circuit board on the inside. It's expensive, but unfortunately there aren't any aftermarket options for that control unit. You got to buy it straight from BMW, and I don't know, it costs what it costs. I mentioned in my first video, again, there's an option to, instead of getting the normal TPMS system working as it was designed with the sensors and everything, you can code that out using software similar to what I use today, or other options. But you can code that out and go with FTM, which is just flat tire monitoring system, and it uses the wheel speed sensors. Again, I dove into that a little bit more in my first video. That is an option, but I did want to have this car working as it was designed. So shelled out the money. It is what it is, but here we are back working again. So again, if you're having similar problems with the car, check out my first video. There's a lot more detail in that video than what I went to in here. This is more focused on just getting it plugged in and coding it and showing you guys that it worked and that it's good to go. If you're having similar problems, check that video out. Check out the resources that I posted in the description of that video for forum stuff and information you can find there. And reach out to me if you have any questions. All right, guys, stay tuned. It's 50 degrees out today. It's the first days of March, 50 degrees. It's sunny. I just drove around with the windows down. If you live in the Northeast like me, you know this first somewhat warm day, 50 degrees, it feels like a summer day after the winter that we've just had, the cold temps. So spring is right around the corner. It's got us excited. If you're a car guy like me, it's always a great time of year. So I'm excited about what's coming next. A lot of plans for this car in the springtime. A lot of good stuff coming along the way. I'll be making some videos about it. If you like the content and if this was helpful and you want to see more, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.